I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite
podcast
on the Citadel.
Welcome to Andromenerds, the #1 Mass Effect podcast on the internet.
In the world.
My name is Minius of Minius GC, and with me are my co-hosts, Tucker from Mass Effect Follower.
Hey everyone, how are you doing?
Well, look at that. Full-on excitement
that was
and everything.
for you, Ethan O'Neill, who asked me to be more zesty.
Wait, I asked
was
you
a
to
one
be
and
more
done.
zesty. I ask you to be more zesty every week, and you're never more
Yeah.
zesty.
Well, that was an email.
Screw you, Ethan.
Thank
How'd
you,
get
Ethan
anyone?
O'Neill, for your contribution to this
What,
podcast.
did you not say that Ethan O'Neill is important?
Okay, he's clearly more important.
Who?
He's my new favorite person now.
That's the one and only BioFan.
Hello, how's it going?
We also have the eloquent AbilityDrain.
Why do you say eloquent? You're just taking the piss.
Yes, yes, I am. And we have an extra person today, guest host this week. His name is Bife.
Hi, how are you guys doing? So freaking excited to be on the show. Like, dude.
Woo!
Yeah, so
He
We're
has the
excited to have
same
you.
accent as me. I'm so pleased.
Not
That's
alone
right.
for
What?
once.
finally we have someone who isn't a female with a British accent on the show,
British
and a
invasion
male
on
that doesn't have a North
Andromenerds.
American accent. So, whoa, stepping out.
Novelty.
Diversity, guys.
Bife, why don't you tell everybody who you are, just in case they all live in a bubble of a Mass Effect bubble like we do.
Okay, so I am a YouTuber, and technically I come from over the hill in the scene of Bungie and Destiny and all that stuff, but I have picked up Mass Effect Andromeda's news, and I've been hyped for the game, and I've loved the franchise ever since Mass Effect 2. Even when I played Mass Effect 1 and thought, it's okay, it's like maybe a 7 out of 10, I picked up Mass Effect 2.
Finally, someone agrees with me!
Beg pardon? What?
Just keep on
I
going.
said, finally, someone
Keep on
agrees
going.
with me
Don't worry about it.
on this podcast.
Yeah, I picked up Mass Effect 2 after having seen none of the hype and been like, yeah, I'll just do this to entertain me. And maybe 3 months later, I was finishing something like my third playthrough on Insanity and sitting in my room surrounded by nothing but empty cereal bowls and all that stuff.
It's addictive, right?
So yeah, I became a very hardcore Mass Effect fan, and by the time that 3 came out, I had vaguely started a YouTube channel. I did a few YouTube videos here and there that got maybe 100 views or so each one. I still loved it, loved every single moment when that game was coming out, because it felt, I don't know, man, Mass Effect 3, despite the ending, was the culmination of so much stuff, and it felt so right at the time being. And then Destiny came along.
How did you feel about it, the ending?
Honestly, I do agree with what some people say about how it's disappointing and it could have been explained further. I think the extended cut does an okay job of extending all of that. Not to use a very advanced vocabulary or anything, But point is this, I wasn't exactly too disappointed, I sit here and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, sure, maybe the ending wasn't great, but I mean, Mass Effect has always been about the journey, not necessarily the destination, right? I mean, what, I've got to ask, this is kind of a cool question, I guess, what's your top moment in Mass Effect? Just the whole trilogy? Because for me, it's not anything like, say, the final moments of Mass Effect where you take down a Reaper single-handedly. It's one of those moments like, say, in the Collector base, which is midway through the story, or it's being in the Citadel with Garrus and then missing your shot deliberately so that
Smaller moments.
Yeah, exactly. There's...
Yeah.
Still hated the endings, though.
Yeah, all with Liara by the piano. You sit down and those moments, those are the moments that breathe life into Mass Effect and what it is for me. That's why I play this game. That and driving myself completely mad with Insanity and loving every second of the hardcoreness. Oh my god.
What did you think of the multiplayer?
I'm allowed to go non-PG on this podcast, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, of
just
course.
like-
I'm
oh,
on
yeah,
it.
totally.
Fuck it out.
Holy fucking shit, I fucking love Mass Effect's multiplayer.
Dude,
Good,
it's
okay.
amazing, isn't it?
Yes! Oh, I'm really glad that they're throwing multiplayer back into Andromeda, because you know what? It was one of those things where, for so long, I was looking for a game that gave me a decent co-op multiplayer, and I wasn't really a fan of Horde mode in Gears of War. And Mass Effect comes along and is like, yo, you want to play as a Geth? You've wanted to play as a Geth for the longest time. Here, play as a Geth. And I'm like, yeah, let's do this shit. Oh my god. So, yeah.
We should all play.
That's pretty much
Andromeders
exactly the way
together when
I
it comes
felt when
out.
they had added the Geth. I was like, oh my god, it's
Yeah.
a Geth.
It's finally happening. This unit has a soul. Just like, sit down and finally experience the fun that you've wanted for so long. And yeah, like, on top of that, dude, I was just happy with it as well because all the multiplayer updates were free. Aside from, like, buying packs, but, whatever, who buys packs?
I mean,
there's
you
no
can
point.
earn those over
Exactly.
time, so.
And that was what was so great
Yeah,
about it.
it's not totally a microtransaction.
Yeah.
It's like...
And also, like,
half.
whilst, it isn't like getting hats in TF2 or something, you are sitting down and it is a game where it's co-op. So if you're getting a good set of weapons, you're not really putting someone else at a disadvantage. If you're carrying, like, a little nub with an M8 Avenger through a mission, this is totally fine. They're not going to mind. They're going to be totally cool with that. So, yeah.
We should all play the Andromeda multiplayer together when it comes out.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I've been
Yeah.
saying every other podcast.
But it's not
And
like
we've
it's
been
not gonna
agreeing
help
with
you.
know, but
All right.
You just like to remind us.
I do.
frequently.
Perhaps I should poke us along a little bit. This is going to be episode number 20. We recorded an episode 20 last week, and I'm going to hold it in reserve in case something awful happens, like someone gets sick and messes up and can't do
Minius.
anything.
so that means
Yeah.
that our next podcast, the 21st, we will all appear drunk on here and have a very fun time.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Oh
sure.
my
That's a good
gosh,
idea.
yes.
Eventually.
Should we do that? I'm down for that. I mean,
I'm
the
good for that.
21st is like the one to do that. So.
Dude, drunk casts, they're the best. Oh my god. All
by
the
the
drunk
Heavy
story.
editing involved on my part, but yeah.
Normally, and from now on, Andromenerds will post every week, Mondays, noon Pacific, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, and 8 at night in the UK. If you would like to contribute to this show with a question or topic suggestion, you can email us at andromenerds@gmail.com. So, big thing that happened this week, actual more gameplay. And not really new gameplay, but more gameplay.
And also the release
At
date.
At long
And
last,
we
the
will
release
get into
date.
that too. Do we just start with the release date?
Yeah, I think
Should
you
we-
owe someone a crown, technically.
Well,
I know
yeah,
we've
we
been
broke
debating
this
this.
down on the show last week. Basically, we had these stupid crown bets, and BioFan ended up coming out on top with 1.5 crowns, and I got a half crown, which I'm going to concede that half crown. BioFan, go ahead and toss up whatever crown you'd like onto your little screen there.
Would you like my
Okay.
Queen of Shit crown?
Sure.
Yeah. I'll send that to you.
Is this through Skype? I need to see this. I won't be able to see it until the
Yeah.
episode's edited, but my gosh, this is
I'll
going to be
send
great.
it now.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
curious,
send it
did you
in.
guys see the new Mass Effect screenshot?
It looks
It
gorgeous.
looks awesome.
Which one? Wait,
which
what?
one?
I've been so busy recording, I haven't.
Go to Aaron Flynn's Twitter.
Oh my!
And it's,
the
he
one,
recently
the
tweeted out,
one just
it's my
linked.
favorite planet with all the bioluminescent
Dude.
flora and stuff, and it's just so pretty,
Gotta save
and I just
that.
want to explore it, and BioFan's favorite planet.
You can
That'll be
can
on your
tell
background.
you can tell how much of a YouTuber I am when I'm like, whoa, this is beautiful, and it'd make a great thumbnail.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was like, I'm going to use this as a thumbnail. What's I use it for?
YouTubers, we're such scumbags. We're awful. Everyone else is there being like, appreciate the great beauty in front of us, and we're just like,
steal this
salvage
shit.
it for parts. Go.
When I said I was going to use it as a background, I was lying.
Oh, it's good though.
So it
this
feels
is-
weird to go back because we had a little discussion last week about the release date. Release date, you guys are cool with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with whatever, anyhow.
That release date,
I
as
have-
of recording, is less than 70 days away.
I have one issue with it, but not about it itself.
Okay.
The Nexus Uprising book is supposed to come out on the 28th. I'm not sure if they're going to move that or not, because
Probably not.
if it stays there, though, everyone's going to be busy playing the game and aren't going to bother buying the book.
Well, I mean, you gotta
So I
do
feel like
something
that's
when,
gonna
you're,
hurt
when
their
you're
s-
taking a shit.
That's true.
That's true. That is true. Good thing I pre-ordered.
I haven't bothered.
But I think that it will really hurt their sales to put it out after the game. I feel like if it would come out even just a week before the game, that it would boost their sales
I think
incredibly.
it would
but
actually improve.
I don't know
Sales.
if it's going to matter.
I think it would improve the
I-
sales because, with Mass Effect Andromeda, it will grab a lot of new fans, and some of them might go, "Oh, this is awesome! Oh shit, a book's coming out about the situation that was mentioned in the game.
Yeah,
That
prior.
it's all that.
I-
Oh, cool!
yeah.
I'll check that out." Like,
But I think in publishing, it's better to have a big, huge sale in the beginning to help drive the rest of it, versus I feel like in this situation it's going to be a slow grow because people aren't probably going to. Most of the people that are going to read it are probably going to pick it up a long time after it
After
comes
the
out
fact,
because they're
yeah.
going to be busy playing Andromeda
Well, I mean,
and not.
It depends also how much they mention what happened prior to the game in game, because they might make references to it, but it depends how much they actually go into details. Because if they do, then what's the point in reading the book if you can get a basic overview of it in game? That's
I think it might be kind of a situation like, do you remember with Dragon Age Inquisition with the part of the game where you pick who rules Orlais?
Yeah.
There was an entire book they gave you
That's
background
true,
to help
yeah.
you make that decision. So
Yeah, I would
remember
love to
the
see
stolen-
the way I've always
yeah.
looked at the
Masked
video game
Empire.
books. I've always played the game first. If I really like the game, then I'll get the book. So having it come out ahead of time, not necessarily as important. I think from a standpoint of
kind
overall.
of is though for us as a YouTuber. We
right,
As
right.
YouTubers,
The,
yeah.
we
the
need
five
to know
of
this
us.
shit.
Yeah, it's super important. They should break
that
down
is the entire market
break down their
right there, the
entire
5
schedule and
particular
just make it
individuals.
for us. Yes. Screw everybody else.
Yeah, they should just give it us now, and then we can
I
just for free because fuck pay for it.
I
Yeah.
can't remember the name of the game, but it was kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons kind of Xbox game. But I remember it came with a code in the game or the book came with a code that would help you in game.
Oh.
Can't remember what it's called. The
Incentive.
game started with an F. It was one of the free games with gold. It was one of the very first ones.
Not,
There's like 3 of them.
Not Fable, right?
Yeah, Fable.
Oh, really?
Fable came
Oh,
with. Did
Fable
it?
is
I didn't bother reading
wow.
it.
Okay, I would not describe Dungeons and Dragons as Fable.
Yeah.
but-
No. Have you ever played D&D or
I
the
have,
Dungeons and Dragons
but
cartoon,
it was like
or-
a weirdish one.
So not really.
Like where?
No.
It's like in Fable. Where are them D20s? You know, like what's going on? Not to mention, like, there's no crazy moments where your DM can just decide completely and utterly to screw you. You know.
You guys are doing
That's
going
true.
too well. Go fuck yourself.
Going
I mean, Fable's
back to-
basically just
Oh.
like ye old Britain. How many people can we fit in that's going to swear and sound like a cockney?
It so is. Oh my god. It's so bad, but it's so funny at the same time.
They're all really common, and it's just like, wow, yeah, we don't. I mean, we do sound like that, but we don't. It's kind of like it's almost a parody, I think, of our accents. I mean, maybe some people sound like that, but generally not.
Going back to the release date of March 21st, which is like less than 70 days away or so, like 2 months away, our jobs are about to get a whole lot busier because they have to do a whole lot of marketing in those 2
Yeah,
months.
I
they're going to
wish-
flood us
Crunch.
again.
I wish though that because I'm starting my master's program March 1st. I was like,
Yeah,
God.
but you've got slaves
damn
to do
it.
the
You
work.
fucked.
Although to be fair,
You
my
very
master's
fucked.
degree is in video game design. So again, I could playing it off as homework.
That's true.
There you
Cool,
go.
and then you get
They
your
are
slaves
done.
to do all
Two
your
birds,
work.
one stone.
Yeah,
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
yeah, you're totally
I
cool.
have-
I don't. What are you
I have a
complaining
group of
about?
people.
you only need to show up, you know.
May I say that I'm really envious of the fact that you have slaves, Tucker.
Really? Biff, you too?
I am so envious. Like,
Also, they're not slaves. They are my lovely coworkers that work for me. But
do you?
I love
He
them.
runs it
I
like a
love them all.
sweatshop.
It's a
Do
yeah,
you
they're
pay
not really
them?
slaves. They get paid. There's a sweatshop.
I love
nice
them though. They
sweatshop.
produce some fantastic content. Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
I wish I had sweatshop workers then. Yep.
I think we all wish
Oh
we did.
god.
Yeah. No, I'm too.
I can't afford
I'm
to pay
too
'em,
controlling of my work. I was like, no, I
mean,
have to do
yeah.
it like this.
I was
It
gonna
has
say, to be
be
fair, if you
certain."
guys went out and said, "Hey, I would love to have a writer for or at least for a couple months just to
Never.
help,"
I'd be like the boss from hell. So
Yeah, I'm too much of a quality-oriented bitch that I would be too particular about my preferences that it would probably not be.
Not that my
great of a
editing's
situation
fantastic,
for them.
but, you know, I prefer to do it myself, even if I am really
Yeah.
behind on everything.
but
I have to
taking
admit, yeah, it's something that makes a big
steps
difference.
back to the release date. They have said that
Tucker's veering back to the topic.
Whoa.
What?
Well, it's because of something that I want to poke fun at for Minius is Xbox gets the game early.
Yeah,
Again.
For
you
EA
know what's
access.
kind of weird about that? Because there were PlayStation commercials with Mass Effect stuff in it, and after about a week, that stuff stopped showing. They showed edits of it without it going on. So I don't know what happened there exactly.
I mean,
something happened.
Something with that is I work I have two jobs, but the YouTube one and the physical job is I work at a movie theater, and one of our ads that we play before the trailers and all that stuff is that PlayStation ad, and that scene is cut out with the Nomad.
You cannot see
And
that
that-
anymore. It's not there.
And that really confused me because I would be sitting there like, oh hey, it's about to show up, and it just
And it
cut
doesn't-
right
it
to
doesn't show up.
greatness for everyone or
Could it-
whatever the slogan is, and I was
Could
like,
it be just to cut down the time scale of
You know,
it running?
that's what I thought too, but based on what's happened recently, like the recent PlayStation stuff where there has been no Mass Effect, and the fact that PlayStation didn't block Xbox from getting the EA early access thing.
well, I think
that's
EA had
weird.
to do with that really a lot.
Still,
is-
but this
yeah,
is
it's EA.
but-
It's not related to BioWare whatsoever.
but this would be related to EA too. I mean, Sony doesn't make a deal with BioWare; they make a deal with EA. So something weird happened. I'm going to go ahead and guess that Sony jumped the gun on this stuff, and EA's like, "Hey, wait a
Probably
minute."
thought they had it in the bag.
Yeah, and wait
Slow
a minute.
your roll there,
wait
partner.
a minute. Who knows? Maybe it's we're not going to find out. There's no way that people are going to tell us. So
This will never be public.
yeah, I noticed that, and I was like, oh, okay, all right. But as far as Xbox getting it early, it's just the early access thing, right?
yeah, I know.
Yes, you get
Don't flip
still-
out. It's not the
Still
release
getting
date
it
thing.
early. So
Yeah, but Tucker, for reference, I guess for you,
Yeah, for you it
it's
wouldn't
quite
matter.
a while. I think, isn't it? It's timed, but then it's also you can't progress past a certain point in the story. Like for Dragon Age Inquisition, when it was on EA Access, you couldn't leave the hinterlands.
You couldn't leave
so
the
it's
hinterlands
where I
anyway if
am
you were
currently
Tucker.
in the game.
But it was also timed, so like you could spend 5 hours in the hinterlands, but that was it.
Still,
Is
think.
it
It's a
is it
perfect
bad
game for you,
that
Tucker.
I've listened back to some of the old shows and every single reference you guys make is killing me right now?
love it.
Oh yeah, Interlands.
That warms my heart.
But yeah, hopefully that doesn't extend to DLC or anything like that. It doesn't matter where it would go first. That would just suck. Like a
Yeah.
month early DLC, any kind of exclusivity. That stuff's no fun.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
we
that
have to
did
wait
happen
anyway.
with Dragon Age Inquisition, so and it was quite the topic in the fandom.
And I'd say, like,
And,
with all this stuff, like, hey, at least they haven't mentioned it yet. But based on the marketing plan right now, they're not mentioning anything. They didn't even give us a heads up on the release date. They're going stuff, so it's not necessarily good news that they haven't said no exclusives because it doesn't look like they have a plan. That's just
their marketing strategy on this
It's
just
bizarre.
confuses me. Then again, I don't have any like formal marketing certification or education, so
who knows?
I
We'll
don't
find
know.
out. Maybe it's
we're-
beneficial
yeah.
to do a late push. I'm sure it is.
It may just be the most info-packed 2 months that we have ever witnessed.
I
But the
hope
thing
they
is,
catch up first, because my god, I'm so behind.
the thing is, so if you look at the majority of people who are going to buy this game, it's not the people who are listening to this podcast. It's not the people that are watching our videos all the time. It's the people that know, oh, there's a Mass Effect 4, I'll pre-order it. They don't kind of stay tuned to all this.
Yeah, it's just
Like,
a case,
information
I
and
like the
stuff.
first 3, I'll
It's the out of sight, out of mind, silent majority people that are going to be the predominant source of income for this game. So I think that it's a bad decision to put so much in the last Hail Mary towards launch, because when say for example in my comment section, I still get people wondering, hey, where's Shepard? So
Yeah.
there's still people that are not informed about that. Imagine how many people aren't going to know the release date is March 21st until the game's already out.
I can't wait to
They're
talk to the
pointing, like,
person who
"Where's
buys the game and is like, "Hey, wait a minute, where's Shepard?" I can't. I really
I hope
looking
there are
forward to
people
that.
ranting.
They're like, I can't believe Shepard's not in this game. I bought it and he's not there.
No one told me. Why aren't they putting this information out? I'd laugh.
I even chose destroy so that they lived. God, screw you, BioWare.
Stupid red end.
Well, I think that it is kind of a smart idea, though, because look at how short people's attention spans are, especially nowadays. So if they
Especially
kind
yours.
of
That's
show
true.
it throughout the time, when it comes out, they'll be like, oh, yeah, that was coming out, but they're showing a lot of shit quickly. They'll be like, oh, yeah, there's this. And then 2 days later, oh, cool, check that shit out. Oh, yeah, there's that.
But at the same
Like,
time,
I mean, I was
you-
going to say, like, kind of like my attention span. I'm looking up Anthony Weiner right now.
Yeah,
American
that's,
politician.
So with that as well, you also do get to present public footage that's more polished than if you did it 6 months ago.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you still have your majority of consumers who aren't going to have known that's going to happen. I feel like it needed to be stretched out a little bit further. I understand they're kind of going for that like Fallout 4 kind of marketing, but when Fallout 4 was revealed, wasn't the release date also given with that reveal that was 6 months prior to launch?
I believe so.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Not 2 months, 2.5 months away from launch. That's kind of
So it's
crazy.
like, this is a date, it will be there, here it is, and that's it. And it was.
I mean, I understand that they probably played the holiday build, which is before winter holidays. A lot of developers will really power through and try to make the best build possible, like really put in extra hours because people will have time off to play it. So I think maybe it was them coming back from playing the holiday build and said, yes, we can confirm March 21st. Like it was kind of, they were unsure until then.
Maybe.
But I
that's
still
probably
think that
exactly
it's...
what happened.
We will see how the game does in the first month versus afterward, and kind of see, because I feel like your release date is probably the most important piece of information that needs to be out there for people to spend money on the game.
But,
So if I might offer like a contrast on this, I hate to
go ahead.
sort of derail a little bit in terms of the game.
Nah,
to
you're
talk
good.
About, but
Oh, you're fine.
in good company, Tucker. You were buds on this one. But you're totally right about like getting it into the minds of everybody and racking up the pre-orders and getting sales out there. Like marketing it this late is a very weird move. But as far as the core community is concerned, I think this is a really good one. So take the situation that I came from in vanilla Destiny, and that thing was a record-breaking game in terms of sales. But it had trailers for years before it came out, literally.
Yeah.
And everyone's expectations were not as well formed and as well informed as they could have been. It was one of those It was one of those believe the hype situations where everything sort of fell flat when it came to the release and then it had to build to something respectable afterwards. So, realistically speaking, from the perspective of reviews of a core fan base, the fact that they are revealing only gameplay that is incredibly polished, only stuff that they're pretty sure is set in stone, they're paying themselves, checks forward, effectively. They're getting themselves in a good position down the line, and when it comes to reviews, maybe they think that that's kind of more important. Admittedly, pre-orders are a huge part
I
of
was also
first
going
week's
to
sales.
say,
Totally agree.
what about Watch Dogs? Remember that
Yeah,
whole
same
thing?
thing.
Oh, the first one, yeah, that was being
the-
advertised for years, wasn't it?
One of the original advertisements for Watch Dogs was, you're only going to spend a week in Los Santos. That's enough time.
Oh, yeah.
And
Los
I mean, that's
Santos?
before, for GTA 5.
They were saying it was going to be the GTA 5 killer, and it's absolutely
Fuck off,
everybody
was
says
it?
that.
I've only just finished playing that, and it's great.
I want to see if I can
I
actually
could see
find
this
the image
marketing
for it.
strategy going either way.
Here it
there's
is.
not enough,
Yeah.
it's nice that they're trying something, I guess. And who knows, this might be a better
Yeah,
way to
we'll see
market
how it-
games. It's certainly not the way most people have recently, so.
There's the
Who
image I
knows?
was talking about. 2 months are enough
Oh,
to
wow.
visit Los Santos. Come to Chicago on November 22nd. Then that game came out like a year and a half after that actual date.
Yep.
And it was still shit, and I'd still rather play GTA 5.
And still looked worse than the original E3 trailers, because Ubisoft.
So did you guys see that no season pass for Mass Effect?
Really?
Why are
Yes.
people surprised at that, though? I mean, Mass
Because
Effect
it's
2,
so-
I don't
Mass
think
Effect
there's
3...
ever been a
Yeah,
season
there's-
pass for a BioWare game, actually.
hasn't.
No, I don't think so.
I mean,
I don't think so.
This is the interesting thing, right? Like, if they're saying no season pass, that's both good and bad. Don't get me wrong when I say that. From the consumer perspective, that's absolutely fantastic. But at the same time, from the perspective of a long-term fan, I know from experience that if the Destiny community If tomorrow everybody was told, like, hey, Destiny 2 is getting a season pass and you're getting DLCs with it, everyone would lose their minds with joy because that's guaranteed content, right? Like, people want to play stuff down the line as well in some circumstances. Having said that, think of what happened with Mass Effect 3, right? Like, most of the multiplayer DLC was free, partly because they had microtransactions in the multiplayer that worked like the booster pack system, you know? So you could buy your Spectre pack and maybe get a new character or a new gun. Ultimately, I feel like that's the road they're going to take, and that's why there's no season pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be neutral on the idea of a season pass. Just because it doesn't
I'm so
mean
into
that there's not going to
yeah.
be lots of DLC. You know,
Oh, I'm sure there'll be a ton.
But there's also the idea of what about people who buy the season pass and then end up, oh yeah, there are all these other games coming out. I don't really have time to play it, and then they end up missing some DLCs, and then it's, to be fair, money that they didn't waste. Well, if they're still playing the game and the DLC comes out, they're like, oh, I'm still playing this game. I'll throw down $10 or $15 for this extra 3, 4, 5 hour campaign and extra maps.
Well, it's like, Fallout 4. I had the season pass for that, and half of the DLC was shit anyway.
Like you kind of regretted buying the season pass because it was kind of meh.
Yeah, it also kind of, there's the idea of if you give them the money already, then they're not really going to try. And I'm not going to say BioWare does that, but, you know, this makes it so it's almost like they earn the money for each DLC. It's not, oh, here's $40, now I get all DLC. It's, I really like this, and they spend money. And then they can even use that on the back end going, all right, this is this theme of this DLC, and a lot of people bought it. And then there's this theme, which people bought it, but not as much. So it might be that a lot of people like this theme compared to this one, and they might be able to improve the game further on in the future.
And hypothetically, if it's all just like weapons packs and armor packs, and you had a season pass for that, you'd be a bit pissed off. So at least if there's no season pass, if you don't want that shit, you don't have to have it.
And I will say that I don't think I've ever been ever really disappointed at all with any story DLC BioWare's put out. I can't talk to
No,
that.
I mean,
But dude, it raises a really interesting point, right? Go back to Mass Effect 1 and compare it to Mass Effect 2 in terms of the story DLC.
Well, Mass Effect
compared
1
to
only
3
had...
and even Inquisitions, it's a huge leap.
You had Bring Down the Sky and
quality.
Pinnacle Station in Mass Effect 1, right? Which, relatively speaking, that's pretty thin. I mean, the only one that honestly had a story there was Bring Down the Sky, and that one was kind of bound up with everything that happened in one of the tales that you could get for your character before the game starts. The War Hero one, where it's like, you know, the Battle of Elysium and all that. The really interesting thing is you then fast forward to Mass Effect 2, and you've acquainted the player base with all of these different characters in the universe. So you have things like Lair of the Shadow Broker, where you know vaguely what the Shadow Broker is. You know of Liara. You know about other Spectres existing. So,
like, the seed is planted in the main game for you to kind of have some kind of idea. You know?
Exactly. I feel like the lack of season pass here is something where they're saying, let's test the water and see what people like. You know. Maybe it's the case that there's a faction of the Ket or something that people love and they get acquainted to. Maybe they're like, okay, let's just devote a whole DLC to that, flesh it out, give them a backstory, you know, expand the codex.
And
kind of
another thing is, I feel like if you get a season pass, if it says you'll get 3 DLCs or things like that, they'll also limit the DLC that they could do.
Okay,
plus
you
this
guys
is a
got
new
me sold.
game, isn't it? So
I'm no longer neutral on the idea.
And
I
build onto
never
that,
buy season passes because it's stupid. So
Well, I was
it's
gonna
not
say,
really
to-
into my in my brain to do that. But okay, this stuff makes sense.
to build onto that, people say, oh, well, a lot of people do season passes, or they're doing this to get a lot of money. That, you know, now you have to buy each DLC individually, so now it's going to cost more money. But think about it. Say you play the game, in 4 months, the DLC comes out, you buy that, and then you stop the game. They only got $10 extra rather than $40, and then the other people don't play. So a season pass, I think, would actually get them more money, but they're not interested in that.
And there's a lot of people I know that I've taught when I see people in like my feeds and my commenters, my subscribers, whatnot, that for a significant portion of them, it's easier financially to say pay $15 every few months versus boom, here's $40.
That too.
Yeah.
It's also
Although,
easier
the thing
to.
with a source, the thing about season passes is that if you do have the $40 or whatever you want to call them, what would that be in ours? Like, you know, 50 quid, I don't know, something like that. Either way, you know, if you have the money, it's done. You don't have to think about it, and then you don't have to worry about not having the money when the DLC comes out. So I mean, there are bonuses and negatives, you know, to both.
Yeah, it's like anything basically. You could pay something forward on a house if you're going to scale it up to everything. But then again, who has? Oh God, that's too many adult problems. I don't want to think about that.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So have you guys
Too
seen
young for
Hidden
this shit.
Figures?
Pardon?
No.
I have not, but I want to.
It is a really good movie, and they also mentioned Alan Shepard a few times around there.
Oh.
Wait. Run
Now I
that
gotta
past
see
me
it.
a minute. What?
Hidden
I missed all of that.
Figures.
My...
It's about 3 black women who helped push
Oh,
NASA to
Yeah.
Oh, right,
win the
okay.
space race against Russia.
The movie that broke over Rogue One in the box
Yeah.
office that sold more.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Even though, you know, Russia beat us with every single space thing, but we beat them to the moon, it's these 3 women really helped push us to that point. And it's all about
Yeah.
them and their struggle as being not just being a female at NASA, but also being black. And it is a really good story. But they also mentioned
And they
Alan Shepard a
contributed
lot.
so heavily to our success.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this story that hasn't really been told when it should have been told because of their amazing contribution to the space race. And
Holy.
yet their story hasn't been told. That's why
And
it's
it's
called.
I can
That's why it
guarantee
has
if
its
they'd have been
title.
There are
3 white
military
men, they'd
helicopters
have been
that
making
flew
that for
above my
years.
house.
Yeah.
It's,
You might-
It's why I'm always glad to see when people sort of lift the veil on characters that, you know, did make a big impact with history, but, you know, they... Tucker, are you okay?
I just
Or
want
is
to
that
stop.
Minius?
Like no, was it? He brought up Tucker brought up a serious conversation, and then he's like, "Whoa, there are helicopters over my
Well,
house."
military helicopters just flew over.
Wait, what?
A group
What?
of military helicopters just flew above my house, and I looked at my recording, and holy bubbles of the gods.
Oh, I'll have fun with that. But that's
That is some
that's just funny.
lovely audio right there.
They've come to liberate the people who are in your sweatshop, dude.
Yeah.
So this
They've
reminds
been
me,
listening.
by the way, so just a little piece of interesting, potentially information, call it what you will, speculation information. So you know how in the Game Awards gameplay trailer it mentioned that there was Angaran blood or Angaran DNA or whatnot?
Yes.
And the Angara is a type of space missile rocket thing, whatnot, that Russia invented. So, spelled the same way.
Oh wow.
Without the end, though.
Interesting.
So
Probably
Angara.
got a route that's further back than that, though. I gotta look up. Whoa, man, still
Oh,
6.
yeah, no.
Gotta look up
'Cause
all
I-
this stuff.
Stuff.
Like anything that they throw out there has probably got some name in mythology.
Some sort of
Yeah.
reference, yeah.
I mean, you go. You,
And Parcero, the other arc that we've seen, in various Spanish languages, it means like buddy, pal, dude, bro.
Bro. Direct translation, bro. From ancient Latin.
Bruh.
the bra arc.
We're on the bra arc.
Rosetta.
on the bra arc.
The bro arc and sis arc, daddy arc.
All right, so we haven't
Oh
even
my god, watch that actually happen.
we haven't
though.
even talked about the CES thing. By the way,
Oh, yeah.
my
Oh, yeah,
favorite
shit.
part of that CES thing was like talking about artificial intelligence and how NVIDIA is trying to destroy the world by creating
Yay,
yeah.
Skynet. Great.
Yeah,
That's cool.
went on
Can I
and
talk
on and
about
on.
my favorite part of the CES event?
Was it Aaron Flynn?
I got a shout out from Aaron Flynn. What's up?
What?
That was
Seriously?
pretty
He
cool.
mentioned
Kinda.
Yeah, I put it in my newest news update. I did like a funny clip with it. But he so that day before earlier that day when the release date was announced, I made a little thingy that Andromeda is on 3/21, so
Which you
321
guessed, yeah.
launch, like space rockets and stuff. And then in the presentation, he was like, "Somebody told me, it's like 321 blast off," and I was like,
That was
that-
me.
"Was that me?" And like I tweeted at him, I was like, "Was that me?" And he said, "Yes." And
like,
my day was made.
I don't really know how to explain this, but how we were just talking about Skynet and everything like that. While this was going on, I was talking to this guy that has a computer engineering degree that is in my group for my college. And he was explaining to me that software already does that, that it kind of teaches itself and then auto improves itself through code. I don't really know how to.
But he just made it sound like robots were all going to come kill us in our
So
sleep.
long story short, we're already on our way to the singularity.
Oh yeah, we're
cool. Great.
We're toast.
That's bad. We have a clock,
I
guys.
welcome our new overlords. I'm fine with that. Can't be any worse than Trump.
Oh man. You know what my favorite thing from CES was that was not Mass Effect? Was seeing the. Did you guys see the car that was supposed to have
No.
like self-bumping technology? And it's like, oh yeah, sure, it's gonna do it himself. And the guy who's like from the engineering company was like, oh, we had that feature on this model. And then it's like you can tell that he's dying under the pressure, and like 30 minutes of
And
their
then
lives
like the guy
was
presenting is
destroyed.
like, yeah, it'll move. Well, let's watch it move.
I think
it'll move any second now.
I think self-driving cars are going to be like something that's absolutely amazing. Because think of how much
yeah. I
extra
can't wait.
work you can now get done if your car's driving itself. Then you could be sitting there like typing a script, editing a video, doing something, playing
Yep, that's what people
Hearthstone.
are
I
gonna
can
be
get
doing.
a nap.
What do you think they're going to be doing? Diddling themselves? Well,
Yep.
possibly. But
Yep.
Yeah,
you know,
obviously.
they could be. They could.
That's what everyone
What?
would do.
You're going to be typing on their keyboard or diddling themselves. You can pick one.
Why not
Which one are
both
you
at the
gonna
same
be
time?
doing?
Yeah,
You could be looking something
maybe
up. That
both.
gives a whole new definition to roadhead. But
Oh
then
my
there could be
God,
people that are
Tucker.
actually doing decent things with it, and I just think it would be awesome because there's so much that it would improve then. Because as with innovation, it would bring further innovation because now people have more time to do things to figure out more problems.
I think
And it would cut down on your commute time because it would cut down on the amount of traffic because the computers could probably, like switch up however the cars are driving so that traffic doesn't occur as
That
easily.
too.
You
Did
know?
you see that shit in iRobot? I mean, not the whole robots killing humans thing, but the thing
Yeah,
with the
that's
robots
the
are
second
driving.
part of
like
that.
where he just
Where
gets
the
in,
cars
it's like,
are like-
this is where I want to go, and it just
It
goes.
was really like the
It
cars
won't
were
happen
driving
anytime
themselves,
soon.
and they were going like
Wait.
900 miles down the highway, and then he pulled out like a PlayStation 2 controller to drive, and then the robots attacked. But besides all that, the self-driving cars, they were awesome. They were flying across the space. It was awesome.
The
I don't
PlayStation
think
2
the
controller is
technology
Men in
quite
Black.
ready for that
Yeah,
yet.
he pulled out this weird like PlayStation 2
No,
controller
that's
that
not
taking manual
iRobot.
control.
That's not iRobot. That's
I
Men in
swear it
Black.
was like an iRobot thing.
It's
No,
Men in
it's
Black.
I thought it was a wheel.
It's Men in Black because he
Men
passes
in
it to his
Black
partner
too,
and
yeah.
he's like, "Have you never had a Game Boy?" And he just shouts to him, "What is a Game Boy?" You'll learn about
I am
this.
looking
very
this up.
quick.
Let's see. Car scene
you'll-
in iRobot.
iRobot's supposed to be serious.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna type this as well and prepare for loud keyboard because I'm gonna find it. But yeah, it is absolutely
Okay, so
Men in Black.
it's not a PlayStation 2 controller, but it looks like one of those old Atari like big controllers. I must have gotten my shit mixed up with Men in Black, but
Yeah.
Still,
yeah, okay.
that car's hollow.
I'm proving it to you. I'm linking you a video right now. YouTube, nearly 300,000 views.
this is actually
Boom.
Biff's initiation into Andromener just by correcting me.
I will get this right. You'll learn
So I
about this.
found
I have
it-
freakish memory. It's a
I
bad
found
trait.
it interesting how in the CES demo, Cora was there, but she wasn't there
Yeah,
Like-
no, she wasn't there.
at all.
Yeah,
Except her icon is now different. Her and PB's has
Yeah,
changed.
that's right. They're sillier. They look derpy.
I'm going with this. Liam.
Oh shit!
and-
Yeah, that is a PlayStation 2 controller.
Yeah. Right?
I thought that was from iRobot, where you like pulled out something small and it looked like a controller.
Right? Dude. Freaking Men in Black.
yeah. All
I
right, sidetrack,
I can't believe
let's
it.
get back.
I derailed that harder than Tucker ever has. I
No,
think.
no,
Oh my
it
God,
started
so
with
sorry.
Tucker.
Oh,
It's,
no.
It's,
Oh,
it's,
no.
It's the initial stone that gets kicked down the hill. If you get caught up in that stone, it's not your fault. It's the person who kicked it, Tucker.
What?
He's a stone
I was-
kicker.
I just kind of spaced out. What?
Don't worry about it.
All right. Cool. I'll hear that in the podcast whenever I listen to it at some point.
Yep, when you listen to it.
If.
What we were doing. So, were you guys enamored with the CES gameplay at all? They kind of got mixed reactions from that.
A little underwhelmed.
I mean,
I loved that we can now see how our abilities stack, because that was a big thing that they
Yeah.
talked about that they never really explained, is that you can change your class on the fly, and now you see how. You more of build how you want, and then each class just gives you different buffs.
yeah, and then I also liked how we had that little video clip to show you like what it looks like when you use
That
the
is
ability.
nice,
Because I
too.
remember like my first time playing Mass Effect, I'm like, I have no idea what a singularity is. Like, I have no idea what this ability will do. Okay.
Yes, that is awesome.
So
as
I
well.
think it's a nice little addition.
And what did you think about the new one, Invasion? That new ability.
Did we see it?
No,
We didn't see it, but hearing
I mean,
it.
we saw it existing, but did we see
Didn't
it used? I don't
Morph
think we
have
saw it
something
used.
like that? It's basically like AI hacking, but for organics.
It's like if you've ever played BioShock, it's when you
Oh.
shoot all the bees out of your hand.
Oh.
That's what I'm imagining.
Oh my.
So like you kind of like
Oh my god, that was so funny.
biotically
Actually, hold on.
control
I'm thinking-
someone.
Am I mixing that up with something else?
I mean, that's a nice idea though, because it is an equivalent now. I mean,
Yeah.
you always had AI hacking with some of the higher tech characters, like your engineer.
Actually, you know what? I think I
Legion.
might have messed that up. It's a debuff, right? Where is that old thing? I've been sick too long. I would have all this stuff like down.
I don't
down.
think we got a description of Invasion.
No, we
actually,
definitely got a
because it was an
description of
auto level
Invasion.
up, so I don't think you actually got to see what it
No,
was.
we
no,
got a
we
description.
definitely got a description.
I out of the 2-minute video, I made a 13-minute, 30-second video. I went over a lot of things, and it tells you the details in
proper
there.
way to do it.
I decided to kind of like wait on it because soon, according to Ian Fraser, we're going to the development. What is he? Head designer. He said that we're soon going to get like a gameplay 101 video. So it's kind of like I don't want to speculate too much.
Yeah, we're also
I
getting
don't wanna let,
multiplayer
that happen.
videos soon.
We're also getting multiplayer video soon. We're getting things soon.
And
Lots of things.
I
beta,
hope
which
they
my
hold up
prediction
for a
is going to be
while.
early next month. That's my
All right.
prediction for the beta.
So, Invasion infects opponents with an invasive VI-controlled machine swarm that weakens defenses and spreads itself to nearby enemies. So, not quite what I had in
That
mind.
sounds
Ha!
painful.
So it's like the bees from BioShock.
It's like a
Terrifying.
machine
Or
plague.
like the jar of bees in Inquisition.
Yeah, well, I've never got that far, so that's... Yeah, it doesn't
you
work
should
really much.
finish it because you know there's things that will help you with comparisons.
Yeah, I'll get to it at some point.
Reminds
Yeah,
me of
we're-
Siva.
You have 2 months.
It's not. Sorry, I'm gonna. Nope, I won't derail it into Destiny. Nope,
Nah,
won't do it.
no, come on. I need some assistance here.
Not quite like Siva. It's not a good analogy, I don't think.
Well, Siva isn't an algae. It's quite literally just a technological
Yeah.
plague that then spreads and grows itself. It's
I
totally
don't-
mechanical.
Yeah, I think this is actually like controlled by a VI that you get to program, though.
In terms
I just derailed this
of
more
the
Ah,
in terms of the presentation as a whole, I don't think at any point I was wowed. I thought it was cool. I enjoyed it. I think it was. I wouldn't say it was underwhelming, but I wouldn't think it was shocking or awe-inspiring either.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I kind of think that for a release date announcement piece of footage, you want to bring your A game.
Well-
Like you want it to be like, bam.
Well, keep in mind, that was also at the NVIDIA convention where it's not really much
Yeah.
about gaming. It's more of showing you what the game can look like. And for what it showed, it was pretty amazing.
I mean, it was awesome. It was great. I enjoyed it.
There's a shit ton of particle effects, a lot of highly detailed graphics. I mean,
I just think that
Yeah.
when you announce the release date, it should be like a BAM!
Yeah.
I thought that like
Release date.
breaking into the trailer and like freeze framing everything far more interesting than the actual trailer itself. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
if you just watched it
Yeah.
casually, you're like, eh. But then if you really get into it, you're like, whoa, this thing's packed.
If you watch
Whoa.
the
It's not even
analysis
anything like that, though, isn't it?
of all the people present
Not
here,
always.
then okay, maybe not all of us, but if you watch the analysis
Ability.
videos that people in this podcast have
Yeah,
done,
mine's nearly
I
done.
was,
Shut
I
up.
was, I was commenting about something
then
else. Don't
you
worry about it.
probably will have a better opinion of it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, cough, cough, go watch.
If I'm okay, back me up on this. Did anyone else get the feeling? Like sometimes you watch gameplay trailers or people who are playing the games from like a press outlet or someone who's playing it on an E3 stage, and you're just like, I wish I was there so I could just be like, hand me the damn controller. Let someone who knows what they're doing. handle
Yeah,
this
it
one,
is-
You know?
when you're watching the play and you're like, holy crap. They
They
suck.
almost died.
Like,
Exactly.
god damn, they suck.
They almost died. They took on the destroyer with like no cover. They were this close to death. Man,
No, I think they were invincible.
Yeah, they probably
They probably
have.
programmed that in.
it was
it was-
probably on God
it was
mode.
most
but
likely
no,
on
like
debug.
the edge of the screens did that classic Mass Effect like red blood veiny kind of stuff. You know, I'm sure they wouldn't have actually died because they probably
Yeah.
put it in like special
I mean,
developer
yeah,
God
they
mode.
probably had a debug
but
mode. So
yeah,
That's the God, that's the hilarious thing about all of this, though, is you see the guys
Trailer
here
magic.
play it, and it's like, I guess we don't really realize how much trailer magic does get worked into it, right?
Yeah.
So, I think the best example I can think of this is, I remember back to the Doom trailers from earlier last year, and you know what they're like. They're super explosive, action-packed, all synced to metal, and it's brilliant. I then saw, I think it was Polygon, Polygon, I think, I'm pretty sure, who they followed up and played through like the first 20 minutes of Doom, and they handed the controller to someone who I'm pretty sure had never played video games before. It was like you know when you're trying to move and look for the first time ever in a first-person shooter, and you're like just going side by side.
Yeah.
It was that, and I'm sitting here thinking like, this is Doom. This is like. This is the thing that generates the term shooter trance. You should be dancing around these enemies as you kill them, you know? Like, it's moments like that when it's painful. But again, it reminds me of why, like, I can be critical of the Andromeda trailer, but at the same time, can I really? Like, I don't know how much work has gone into that thing, so, yeah.
My personal favorite bit of Mass Effect Andromeda trailer magic was in the most recent N7-Day trailer. You know that part where Papa Ryder is messing with his Omni tool and sets off that like detonation? Mm-hmm. That actual explosion is a like three or four frame clip that is on the like frozen planet. It's some sort of container of explosives, and a lightning bolt strikes it, and it explodes. It's not actually that detonation
You
going
sure he
off,
can't control
but because
lightning
it's
with his wrist?
in a totally other
Yeah,
planet?
it
Sure,
like strikes
maybe.
down across
I
the
don't know.
galaxy.
But they try and make it look like there was that detonation going off when actually it was not at all related.
If he's controlling lightning and whatnot, imagining the after credits of Mass Effect Andromeda, Nick Fury is arriving in Andromeda.
Zeus.
So
Turns
on
into a flash.
on our outline, BioFan wrote, "Where's the next briefing, yo?"
Yeah, where is that?
Good
Good
point.
question.
God, GN, get it together.
Yeah, they're falling behind on our predicted schedule.
They've got they've got like 2 months and 4 more briefings left. So there needs to be one at least every like 1.5 weeks or 2 weeks or so. So I don't know where the one that's supposed to be, because it's been early every month so far. So I don't know if they've decided to not space them out and to release like Monday, here's a briefing. Tuesday, here's a briefing. Thursday, here's a briefing. We're done with the briefings.
I want them to have like mini games, and so you have to play all the mini games, and so we can hear you complain about it. That's
This
what I'm
part-
looking forward to.
What I'm saying here should...
I'm replaying Mass Effect 2 right now, where you have to do all those like hacking and bypassing to get like creds and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, those are my favorite.
And I'm just like the whole time I'm just like
I found those soothing.
I found those just like,
Like yep.
Like my experience with those was always a case of, oh great, my screen isn't cracked with blood. Cool. This is a refreshing break, you know. That's the
Anyway, there's a legitimate chance by the time this podcast comes out that the briefing will be out. So look out for that.
briefing soon. It has to
Briefing
be
soon, yes.
It has to be soon.
So
if they're spacing them out.
last week on the show that you couldn't hear, we asked a question: who do you want to punch the most?
Did we?
A Pyjack, Kalisa Al-Jalani, Admiral Hangarel, or Jacob?
You're not going to put my
Jacob.
suggestion in?
Your suggestion never gets in there.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah, well,
whoa, I gotta hear this now. Now that you've mentioned it, what's Tucker's suggestion?
My
What's it?
suggestion was the button on the priority Shurkesh mission. Which is the one that when you hit, it says stop touching that. Please stop touching that.
The feces analyzer.
Yeah, that was fine.
That's a kingly answer right there.
See?
so anyway,
I would-
do you guys
I'd
have
be
predictions?
split.
Who won?
Jacob.
Kalisa Al-Jalani.
Kalisa.
Kalisa won. Yeah, beat
Yeah.
out
Oh,
Jacob.
man.
32% to
Hijack
29%.
got-
Nobody wants to punch a Pyjack, which all right.
People are good people.
Yeah, Pyjack 13%.
So a Pyjack got 13%. Kalisa Al-Jalani won with 32%. Admiral Hangarel, who was that Corian that was being an asshole
nearly
on the
blew you
Normandy
up on the
that you
Dreadnought.
can punch, but I said let's punch him and like just continue punching him. So he got 26%, and then Jacob got 29%.
I do like how
He
Jacob got
almost beat
29%.
Khalees Al-Jaladi.
Only person on there that
Yes.
you can't actually punch.
I'm guessing that a pie jack no one punch a pie jack because digressing back to an even further poll, the pie jack would win the fight.
No. 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 No.
Okay.
Against
Okay.
what?
All right.
Tucker believes a pie jack can beat up everything.
No, I said
What poll should
between
we
a
have for this
On
Hanar.
week?
steroids, maybe.
There's a Hanar. There's one of the fat ones whose names I can't think of right now.
Volus.
And Volus and a pie jack. They're all fighting. The pie jack would win.
Yeah,
I'm just sitting here imagining like a
I mean, like, have
Volus,
you-
a Hannah, and a pie jack
A three-way
all like
brawl.
facing against
have
a
you
Reaper and then
ever
being like,
heard-
let's do this.
I mean, have you ever like heard
That's
of
your
the
squad.
news whenever monkeys
Rumble.
get in fights and things like that? Like baboons, they go for the balls. They will rip those genitals off.
Oh my.
yeah.
Your fact of the day, ladies and gentlemen.
It's
Well,
still a
that's
space monkey,
horrifying.
and they're pathetic and like docile. So, whatever.
So what's
boy.
our poll for this
Do you-
week? I came up with the planet
Do you want
one.
to? Do you
but
want to
what do
go
wanna-
with? Well, we can go with the planet one, or we can go with. We got a lot of abilities in this recent trailer. What abilities do you most want in it that you haven't had confirmed yet? We can do that.
Ability drain in the game.
Ability
Yeah,
drain
yeah.
in the game. There is energy drain.
No,
So-
me. I mean,
I know, but that's already
in
kind
the
of in
game,
there.
voicing someone. Because
Voice-
fuck yeah.
Oh. I
Or
wish.
you would just want to go with the planet thing?
I'm typing. What ability would you most like to see return for Mass Effect Andromeda?
Oh, return?
Yeah.
Turn.
So
Yeah.
we each get to pick one, or at least four
Oh,
of us get to
God.
pick one.
What's
No.
that vortex one? Oh, fuck.
I
What?
know that like BioFan and I are probably gonna go with
Is that
Shadow Strike.
Singularity?
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna go with Biotic Flare.
Flare, biotic flare.
Are we
believe
including
I mean-
things from the multiplayer too? This is an important
Yes,
question.
yes, we are absolutely.
Stan-
What's the one that creates
does
that little
standard
black
grenade
hole thing? I've
count?
forgotten what it's called.
What,
So
like
just
just like a
grenade throw?
frag grenade?
Does that count?
I guess so.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
What is the most?
What's the
is
lamest
the-
thing you could possibly pick?
What is the
And-
one I can that will just fuck up the polls?
Yeah, it was
Fire weapon.
fire weapon,
Trigger.
gun.
It's just punch dudes.
All right, I'll go first then, since I thought of this ahead of time. I'm going with Shadow Strike. I need
Ooh,
it.
Okay.
that's a
I
good
need
one.
I need Shadow Strike. I need it.
I like your choice.
Strong choice.
If I could vote twice, that would be my second vote.
It kills me, right? Because I love Vanguard abilities, and we've already seen Biotic Charge, but I guess the next best one for me has to come from Mass Effect 3's multiplayer, and it's Biotic Slash, where you just sort of spin around with your sword.
Oh
create,
yeah, and then shoot
like
out a.
the tidal wave explosions in front of you, which
There
can
was
go
the
through walls. and
Biotic
are
Slash and
stupidly
Electric
broken.
Slash too. They're both very similar. Go with
yeah.
the Biotic version. That's another thing that could be in the game. Both sword abilities. You got swords. We know there are swords. Let's get some
Swords.
sword
They are
abilities.
melee weapons. There are multiple kinds of swords, and there is a Krogan hammer.
What?
Yep.
I never.
That
I
hammer
never
that
heard
was
about
in
this.
the gameplay trailer near the end bits where you like
It's
smash
like 2
the
frames.
remnant shield.
Yeah,
it was a Krogan hammer.
It's
Oh
like
my
2
God,
frames.
Okay, yep.
You're gonna hit stuff with a hammer.
So ability drain. What's your choice for ability?
What is that one? I don't think it's Singularity. When they make like a
Warp.
thing, and then they get sucked in, and then they get thrown around a little bit. I can't remember.
That's
what it's called.
Singularity.
That's the one.
That's Singularity. Yeah, where it like sucks you in and they kind of like
Yeah.
rotate around
Yeah.
it for a bit
So
while
there
you
we
shoot
go.
them.
I already know it's
I
in there.
believe Singularity's in the game.
I think
Yeah,
it's
it
already
is.
in there,
Yeah,
so pick a
that,
different one.
that doesn't quite work with the,
I
the
don't
poll.
fucking know.
All right, we can only have 4 anyway, so we'll skip you then.
So I'll go with frag
Frag.
grenade. for
Frag
Tucker.
grenade.
God, frag grenade.
Yeah, dude, frag grenade. That's where it
Could
is.
have picked
lazy.
Reeves.
I was,
You
I
should
was
have
either
picked
going to say
Dark
frag
Channel.
grenade or pull.
Paul's in it, definitely in it.
Poll's
We've
already
actually
in.
seen
I
it,
go-
like full
Let's
on.
go with frag grenade.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So
One of the trailers.
weekly
dude gets pulled
Andromenerds
into
poll.
flames.
What ability would you like to see? What ability would you most like to see return
which
for
of these,
hashtag Mass Effect Andromeda?
Which of these abilities?
Biotic
You might want
Flame?
to do that.
Oh, okay.
Because last time we did a which one without specifying that, and people got mad that their choice wasn't on there.
Which of these abilities? Which of these abilities would you most like to see return for Mass Effect Andromeda? Biotic Flare, Shadow Strike, Biotic Slash, Frag Grenade. Good.
One of those things is really lame.
Should I put next to frag grenade Tuckers?
Dude, I don't know about you guys. Frag grenade is probably the best one. That's in that option right there.
So I have Biotic Flare, Shadow Strike, Biotic / and frag grenade bracket Tuckers.
Cool. All right, do we want to go to...
Do you think that will sway the polls any, or do you think I should
I
take
think
that
you should
out?
take it out and just like
Oh
add a
my
comment and see if they
God.
can guess which one Tucker's.
Guess which one was
Guess which
Tucker's.
one is Tucker's.
No, you should just have the
Okay.
poll be which one was Tucker's. God. I also put a GIF in the Skype chat.
Yeah, I'm dying over that a little bit. There's a small part of me that thought that dog had just like burrowed underground spontaneously.
Yeah,
Like,
so
what
did
the?
I love it.
Okay, I have tweeted the tweet.
The dog's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like snow foxes whenever they're on like sheets or just a white surface, they try to jump into it like it's snow.
Yeah.
And they always
Yeah.
like hit off the solid surface. They're like, "What's going on? What is this witchcraft?"
Just bounce. Yeah.
Do you
great.
guys want to jump to questions, or do you have other topics you want to get to?
Or I have a thing.
You have a thing. Go.
I have a
What's
thing.
your thing?
I have a thing. Okay, so I have a great idea. So, and this is the thing I want to make happen. It's the new Space Bear Initiative, but the Space Bear Initiative is still a thing. So, you know how
Oh, that's
we
the
have
ability we
the
should have
Shepherd
chosen.
Shuffle.
What? Spawn Space Bear?
Yes.
Spawn
What?
space.
Spawn
Bear ability. Space Bear ability.
I think that would win the
That
poll.
wouldn't be a returning. That wouldn't be a returning ability, but yeah, that spawn space bear.
It
It
can.
like
it can
calls
be
in a
returned.
crate.
I mean, it can be returned if
Next
you mod.
week we could do abilities we want to exist, and then see which one people like
Spawn
most.
space bear.
I'm 95% sure that given the amazing amount of Space Bear talk that's happened, you guys must have had this conversation. But what if you had like a baby Space Bear instead of the fish tank that you had to feed and raise?
Oh,
I'm just
would be
imagining a fish tank like filled with water and the space bear's like flapping on top like, guys, what the fuck?
Make it happen, BioWare.
He's just
Baby Space Bear DLC. I will pay for that, BioWare. I will pay for that.
Can you
It's like
can you
that
imagine?
comic Bobito did, where it was a tiny space bear. It was like, oh, look at it.
It was so cute. So you know how we had the Shepherd Shuffle in the Mass Effect trilogy?
Yeah.
If there is dancing in Mass Effect Andromeda, I think we should call it the Rider Rumba.
Depends how good they are.
Yeah.
Really depends how good they are. Because if it's like a massive repeat of Shepard, then
They've been
not
joking that
worthy.
Ryder is a worse dancer than Shepard,
Maybe-
and that
maybe
Shepard
Ryder's-
would win at a dance off.
I think the joke will be that Ryder used to be a dancer or something. They do just because they were good or something. Just as a complete reverse of Shepard.
I'm just waiting for that inevitable line where they're like, "I didn't know you could dance riding." It's like, yeah, at one point I was the best dancer on the Citadel, and then everyone who's played Mass Effect before is like, "Oh, you."
I want dancing to be a QuickTime event.
oh,
Yes.
I didn't know. No,
I want
I'm
there to be a
out.
mini
No.
game QuickTime event dancing.
No.
actually,
DDR in
no.
Mass
Let's
Effect.
one step
DDR.
that up.
Nope.
Let's
Dance Revolution, yeah.
one step that up. You have to plug your Kinect in or your PlayStation, whatever the fuck that thing's called, and then you have to actually dance the moves, kind of like Just Dance.
Oh wow,
Oh God.
Yeah,
Boom.
I'm
that's
against
Patch
this.
that in.
They have a few areas of the game in mind. If they were ever going to do a virtual reality experience, maybe that's it.
Booyah! I'm calling it here. That is what we'll see in the next gameplay trailer. You guys will never see that coming, and it will show up.
It makes
you
me
imagine the outrage?
sad that it makes me sad that it's not releasing in late April, because they could release like a joke trailer where it's like the devs just say, we really did think we needed to overhaul the Mass Effect experience. We needed something new. So we basically made half of the game a dancing simulator. And they just do
God.
all of the crew just dancing and somewhere in the middle of the Nomad.
Do
or something.
you guys remember the April Fool's Assassin's Creed Connect game?
Wait, what?
No.
That was a
There was-
thing?
There was a thing that was the Assassin's Creed Connect game.
I need to look this up. I'm gonna
It is
keyboard initiate.
hysterical because they're doing like the leap of faith and everything. And they're doing like full combat moves. I put it in the chat.
Okay, oh my, this thing has 5 million views. What the?
It is, it is amazing.
I thought I was opening the video, and then I opened up a picture of the T-Rex in the fish
Yeah,
tank.
that would be the space bear in the fish tank.
Tucker, have you looked up questions?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Do we want to do some questions then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forget
I
that.
mean,
You know, just like, hey, is there anything I should know?
There are new messages at your private terminal.
sure.
I'm gonna
Hey,
make
trainer, how's it
I want to
going?
make AbilityDrain do that from now on. I think she's so into it.
I'm
Well, I
just
know what it
watching
means
this
now,
Connect
but
video, and it's just awesome.
This is hilarious. The guy
So,
with the hidden
Minius,
blades.
by the
Oh my
way,
God.
Shadow Strike is currently leading with 46%.
Makes me very, very sad.
How's Frag Grenade going?
16%,
What?
the very
How
last.
many votes?
You don't want to
26.
know.
What? That's like multiple people voting for that? That's ridiculous.
I have 18.
So, Biotic Flare has 19%, and it's tied with Biotic Slash. Shadow Strike has 46%, and Frag Grenade has 16.
Really? Because I'm seeing 19 for Biotic Flare, 19 for Biotic Slash, and 18 for Frag Grenade.
Mine says 16.
Oh, no.
I don't know which
Frag
one you're
Grenade
looking
jumped up ahead 21%.
You got like
Suck
2
it.
votes.
Wow.
We'll see what
Okay.
we'll see what comes of this.
All right, Tucker, why don't you read some questions before we completely fall apart? All right, questions. What's up?
All right. Joe Fields asks, what is your go-to food and drink combo for long-term gaming sessions?
Frozen pizza and water.
I forget to eat.
Yeah, that's my issue too.
Granted, I eat like one meal that day, and it's frozen pizza and water.
Mine is a bit weird, but it's just a random big can of fruit and one of those instant breakfast carnation meals things. Those are my go-to for long-term gaming sessions.
Fueling up. What's
Like
up?
I would get I get
yeah.
half. I really water that thing down a lot more than you're supposed to. I get like half a gallon of milk and pour in one or two bags of that, and mix that, and I get like a big thing of canned fruit, like mandarin oranges or pineapples or something. That's mine.
It's interesting.
Yes, quite so.
I think for me it's got to be. It sounds crazy, but coconut water. Coconut water is crazy. If you have too much of it, it's really awful for you. But it's
Does that
great
give you the
because it
shits?
tastes fantastic, and also it's. No, I don't think it does.
Super
I mean,
hydrating.
If it does, then I don't know. I don't know. It's more hydrating than
Super
water,
hydrating.
which is what's crazy.
The second email question is by our favorite person, Ethan O'Neill. And, oh yeah! This person asked, the generic romances in the old game gave us a single unique scene for each character near the end of the game. What would you like to have happen? Depending on the story I just told, there might be some...
That story is not making it into the podcast, by the way. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
Don't expose people to what we just heard, please. This is our service to humanity.
Our
This is
poor-
our duty now.
Poor
We
Poor
can't let this
listeners.
happen.
do not wound them so.
This is a really bad derail, Tucker. This is impressive.
Thank you.
We had some rhythm going, and now it's totally gone.
This is the second time in 21 episode, like I don't know, we're like 24 if you count half
Something.
episodes, that I have left my recording booth.
So, what would you like in terms of new takes on the romance system? Would you like a fast romance that adds unique dialogue for half the game, or would you like a unique buff for the squad, or do you want a long-terming one where it really feels like you're earning the romance?
You gonna buff?
I don't know!
You get a buff for romance.
shit.
I mean,
I've got to go.
There's a difference
In
between like
Dragon
maybe
Age-
a
in-
squad buff or maybe something
Guys.
gets buffed.
In Dragon Age 2, you got a buff for
I've got to go,
romancing.
so I'm going to...
Oh, okay.
All right, I'll catch you guys later.
All right, bye.
All right, see you next
Bye.
time.
Adios, AD.
See ya.
All right.
But yeah, in Dragon Age 2, you did get a buff depending on, like, you got different kinds of buffs depending on who you
I don't
romance.
remember that.
Like, for, like, I can't remember.
I
think Anders probably gave you more health or
only
something,
played it
and
once,
Isabella's gave you more like attack or something. Like
Huh.
you got certain buffs if your romance option was in the party or something. I think. Oh, it wasn't romance option. As if they liked you a lot. If it was if you were
Okay,
best
yeah,
friends.
that's-
If you had high approval, they gave you the buff. It's been so long since I played DO2.
See,
but
dude, this it's kind of like an old BioWare system, right? Not exactly romance, but and I'd hate to even call it BioWare because technically it's Obsidian. But does anyone remember Knights of the Old Republic? Another BioWare Star Wars game.
Yes.
In the sequel to that, what you had was influence over your companions, which is pretty similar to the system being described for Dragon Age, and that could alter the game dramatically. So you could have characters with just ordinary dudes and gals who are force sensitive, and if you had enough influence, you could train them as Jedi or Sith. So, like, potentially there's stuff that you could do there just on the influence front of things, like, say, opening up special training in Andromeda. So, I mean, like, being on the Pathfinders team is special in the first place, but imagine if you got to train someone as a biotic when you found out that they, I don't know, had, as a kid or maybe just on the Nexus, been exposed to Element Zero for some strange, finicky video game reason. Right? Like, that kind of stuff I think could be really cool.
That could be
Yeah,
interesting.
it'd
It's
be
not exactly
weird if
romance,
it was
but yeah.
through a romance. You bang
Oh,
this
man,
alien and unlock their special ability.
Oh,
That's
God.
just like taking the game in a whole different direction.
Reminds me of all the Morden things where he's like, biotics may have useful other use. Yeah.
Morden gives you all of the sex facts.
Yeah,
In
with
the,
no
all of these sex
relenting.
lore comes from Morden Solus. So
Can you imagine Morden giving the talk to like a classroom of 12-year-olds who are just having like their
it would
first
be
sex
the
ed lesson?
best thing ever.
Yes, I can imagine that. Be very informative. They'd all scream.
I can imagine he breaks that
very
into song by the end, but that's about it.
All right, Tucker, what else do we got?
Have you guys ever seen what? Oh, never mind. So the I was gonna ask if you guys have ever seen what owls look like without feathers, but I've derailed this enough.
Oh, I saw that today. It's freaky.
Yeah, that's
to
some
see
freaky
this
deaky shit. So
So what's the next? Did we even answer this
yeah,
question?
we answered it. There you go,
Kinda.
Ethan O'Neill. We answered your question. Smells like purple says I plan on.
I love this one.
What?
Smells like purple. That is a great name. We've had this person give us a question
This
before.
guy gives great. This guy or gal gives great questions, but I need to re-pull it up. I plan on basing my next character in Mass Effect off of one of you. How would you recommend I play you? Convince me to pick you. Now, mine is I go fuck it and have fun. Not really giving a shit what's going on. Just have fun. Don't care about consequences. Do what's in the moment. Have fun.
I believe you should play as Tucker, and then in the conversation systems, when they're like you're trying to get a conversation going,
Derail.
pick the quote has least to do with the conversation you have.
Derail.
It's like
Yeah.
Derailed
it's
conversation.
like in the Samara loyalty mission where you can be like, so do you like this music? And then Morinth will go on her big tangent and they'll be like, yeah, I'm way too mainstream for this. And then you start just going off on your completely own tangent. It's one of the fastest ways to fail the mission. I think if I had this, it's probably one of those things where you try to constantly be good, but consistent lapses in morality. Like, I was the guy who was so terrified I was gonna die to not Kylo Ren, wow.
Kai Lang.
Kai Lang, there we
Lang.
go. It's a similar name, though. I was so convinced that on the Cerberus base I was gonna die to Kai Lang. I hit that Renegade interrupt so fast and felt so good for it. So,
So you play Paragade.
I play Paragon with lapses of Renegade. I'm the guy
So
that's...
Paragade.
I'm the guy that said you're working too hard, and shoved like the electro shock
yeah.
thing in the guy's
Who
back.
doesn't though?
I'm the guy who said you talk too much and then blew up like all of the Krogan from Clan Werlock. It's, like
Who doesn't though?
I'm the guy who punched the reporter. Okay, maybe not all the
Who
time, but
doesn't?
I didn't punch the reporter.
I never
thought it was
talked to the
me.
reporter.
You just didn't talk to her.
Nah, I just ignored her.
It's just like bye.
Peace out, bitch. Like she'd come up like, oh, we have some questions. Bye.
I
good.
would pick the sarcastic option every single time and would be down to romance everyone. So, yeah. Pick Tucker.
Maybe Tucker's way and Bio's way aren't too dissimilar. Have fun.
I can't even think how you would play me. I mean, I'd be probably overly good.
Well, the
Not
only
as
way to play as
interesting.
you is to play in the multiplayer as the Krogan.
Yeah, I guess so.
So basically,
Because you
melee
are a
everything,
Krogan.
right?
He's the only Krogan currently living on Earth.
Yes.
Yes. That is our theory. Yes.
Indeed.
All right, so this
What's the
person,
next question?
Rune Fugelberg, and don't bother sending me an email on how to correctly pronounce your name. He sent me how to pronounce it correctly. I'm not listening to it. I like to think that my way is the actual correct way. If you could have BioWare take on any other existing franchise in the vein of Knights of the Old Republic, what would it be?
Whoa.
Yeah, no, this has been on my BioWare wish list for years now, is just make Knights of the Old Republic 3. I don't care that the Old Republic MMO is a thing. I want the story of Revan and the Exile now, please. Now. Like yesterday, last month.
The one
I wanted it then.
or Knights of the even older Republic.
Knights of the Elderly Republic.
This is the thing. It's like if you play the light side ending of KOTOR 2, you're whisked out of there on the Ebonhawk, and it feels pretty obvious that Revan saved you, and then they just leave this massive like cliffhanger, and you're like, but I need to know. I need to know all the things. I need to see where this goes. This rabbit hole. I want to explore the unknown regions. Like,
All right,
it
so you
kills
want
me.
back to Star Wars, but back to their old
I
roots.
I want back to the good old days of KOTOR and just revamp the graphics, throw everything back into the old systems, and then expand the story, make it even better, and pull off another KOTOR-like plot twist. I gotta ask, have you guys, has everyone here played the original?
I am the
KOTOR?
only one who has played it.
Okay.
So
For the sake of Bio and Tucker, I am not going to talk about the massive, crazy, the absolutely ridiculous plot twist that happens about 2/3 of the way through the game. But I want to see them take something like that and ramp it up to 11. Because that game felt like what Star Wars should be. That I was like, this is perfect. This quite literally couldn't be better. It's just amazing. Incredible.
yeah, I maintained you got to play that game, at least the first one, if you're a Mass Effect fan.
Like, the second one is neither here nor there. It's kind of an odd one because it's Obsidian anyway. And, gameplay's better, story's a bit sort of interesting, odd, was cut down anyway. But the first one is a total masterpiece, and everything... To give you an idea as well, the same guy that plays Caden plays one of your main characters called Karth, the
Yep.
first one that you ever get. And Karth is amazing because he's such a smartass. It's great. You know? Like, someone will be coming along and then, like, torturing someone as a Sith on a Sith planet. He'll be like, oh, look, it's the guy who won the Sith Congeniality Medal. It's like... God. Literally,
It's
that
a good
game
game.
is
Yeah,
amazing.
it's a good
So
game.
good. I could rant about it for another 2 hours, but we don't have that
I
much time.
don't know if we answered this question correctly, because my idea on it was if BioWare would take on a new different franchise.
I got mine.
franchise
Yeah.
would you-
I want to see a Firefly game in the vein of Mass Effect with a little bit of Uncharted. Maybe. But basically, BioWare taking on that game based on, hey, you go around and you take on contracts. Yeah. That's fine.
How about because how they did the MMO, the Star Wars MMO, a superhero MMO where your choices would define if you're a villain or a hero, but in the
MMO?
sense of BioWare setting it
I
up.
like that without the MMO.
There's been a
So-
number of
Yeah.
games like that now. It doesn't...
Yeah, but BioWare setting it up, not a shit company.
Take the MMO out, Tucker. Take it out.
All right.
It doesn't need to be there.
So what about a superhero-based game that BioWare sets up?
Yes.
Unique universe.
Yeah, a unique
Like-
universe,
Okay,
not
so-
a DC or Marvel, and then that would define if you're a villain or a hero, which I think there is already kind of a game like that.
There are many games like that.
Yeah, there's things
That's-
like...
that's not unique
DC
at all.
Universe Online and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but again, MMO.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'll say this, I actually dislike the superhero setting, because this is the difference between superheroes and space, right? In superhero ones, there's only one element of the plot that gets fantastic and the rest is grounded in reality, and that feels like it's limiting and a little bit boring. With sci-fi, I don't have to be the only special one. I can be the most normal element to the entire story, because I could be surrounded by a Krogan on my left, a Solarian on my right, we may be fighting a bunch of Turians and Asari, and all the while I'm sitting here being like, yeah, I'm just casually manipulating Mass Effect fields to, lower that guy's gravity, float him off the ground so my friend can shoot him with bullets that have been accelerated to near the speed of light because Mass Effect field technology, and, stuff. Like, there aren't limits in a sci-fi game. Whereas in a superhero game, there's only one element where you can really start to expand things. So yeah, that's my take on it.
BioFan, you got something?
I feel like I had an idea for this at one point in time that was really, really good, but I can't seem to think of it. And what my mind is going to that would be something different for BioWare is if you had BioWare team up with Pokemon and had BioWare make a Pokemon game. It would literally be probably so amazing that it would probably be the best-selling game of all time.
Okay.
This is going to be such a shot.
Like, that level of story, all voice acted instead of, like, text at the bottom of the screen, and, like, you catch Pokemon, and, like, there's a big story. I think it'd be great.
You know what game I wanted to see BioWare make and give an actual story? Destiny.
What?
Because it had
you
a
want
great
actual story in there?
right? Yeah.
Well,
Like dialogue?
Good news.
Yeah, like dialogue and explanations and time to explain.
Well, good news for
I don't
you.
wanna get into
The
that.
former lead writer for Mass Effect Andromeda moved over to Bungie or whatever. So
Yep. I have hopes. You know what's really sad about that? I am the guy in the community that all of the people shout at, and they're like, hey, you're the lore YouTuber. What are you doing with the lore of this game? And I'm sitting there like, there is lore. I just wish the front of it wasn't so weak, Like, the core of it is
in
great.
the back end.
It's all... That's the best way of putting it, I guess, but it is a little sexual.
that sounds dirty.
Yeah. But, like,
I'm not saying there's lore going up the ass, but...
Now you are.
Now you will. Either way, like, this is the big defining difference between the two franchises, and why I love those devs for different reasons, right? Like, BioWare, I will always remember the moments when, like, I came into the Normandy and I saw Garrus and Javik discussing, like, the tactics of war that the Reapers use, for example, right? Like, those moments of construction are moments that you just don't get in Destiny. But at the same time, I'm sitting there being like, but there's something special about the Bungie community, and, there's something very cool about, like, the gameplay of things, so, It's like, I love all of these different things for very, very different reasons. But I think BioWare is one of the ones that's really attractive to me now. I mean, I wouldn't be jumping back into even, like, cover Andromeda if it wasn't for the fact that the franchise is a very, very special game for me, and it holds a special place in my heart, Like, what can I say? You can't fall in love with Liara and then think of Garrus as, like, your number one bro and not walk away with something a little bit changed,
Yeah.
Like, you can't...
Totally.
Like, when you finish Mass Effect 3, I don't know if this was the case for you guys, maybe it was just you were overwhelmed by how bad the ending was, but I felt like part of me had died,
Yeah.
It was like, that was it. That was the end. That was
Yeah.
my shepherd, all of the decisions I'd made, some of which I'd made, like, 5 years ago, which I didn't think would have an impact significantly, and it was just random things like, oh yeah, I'll just, like, I won't kill Rex, I guess. Like... Little moments like that made a difference.
You guess?
Gonna be honest, I
fine.
killed Rex
I
on my
was-
first playthrough.
What?
Tucker, how dare
Did you choose to kill Rex, or did you just
Oh,
not
yeah, no, I shot
level
him.
up? Okay. You're such a jerk.
So, digressing back to a conversation all the way in the beginning of this podcast, because I was shifting through Facebook, I saw a PlayStation ad, and it is the exact one that we were talking about, and this is sponsored by PlayStation and everything like that. 30 seconds, no Nomad.
Yep.
Wow.
Damn.
Anyway, we've been going for a while now. We may want to start wrapping it up.
With what we've been working on lately?
I guess so.
Wanna do that?
Yeah. We all
Okay.
have YouTube videos, and we do YouTube videos. What? We all have YouTube videos, and we do YouTube videos.
Yes, that
That's
is.
not the point. Do you have any videos that you want to point people to that are listening to the podcast?
Well, I mean, like, my next thing on Mass Effect is going to be the breakdown of the trailer that we saw, all the gameplay. And, if there's anything else coming on that, it's also going to be release date. The cool thing is I plan on making the Mass Effect content now a regular scheduled thing, and I want to jump in on Mass Effect's lore and do a proper series on that. So yeah,
There you go.
fun times.
Oh man,
That's more of a general way of saying like, hey, my channel is a thing and it exists. But
That works.
You should all go check out Bife's channel. We will link on the screen and in the description and all over the place. And you should check out his channel because he's awesome. And he's making Mass Effect videos now too. So you already have a common interest, listeners. Check it out.
Yes.
Woo!
Let's see. Going up on my channel soon is because we were just talking about lore. There is lore for the Protheans going up, but a video that we put up a while ago that because we're not putting up last podcast is a video called "The Dark Side of Mass Effect," and it's about slavery. And in that video, it talks about slavery in the Mass Effect universe alongside actual human trafficking that goes on in the real world. And apparently, January is also human trafficking, like, kind of awareness, where places will try to raise awareness a lot for human trafficking. So, my video is about that, about slavery in the Mass Effect universe and also human trafficking in the real world now.
I don't like Batarians.
Yeah, no,
I think
Batarians
they're
are assholes.
shitty.
The hegemony is really a shady bitch.
Actually, I think they're great characters because of that. Because they're not good guys.
They're great just because of how terrible they are, but they're written so well that you are meant to hate them, and you hate them because it's so well written to hate them.
It's really easy, I think, to write a character that people can just sort of say, oh, that they're kind of evil stereotypically, but to write one way there is genuine hatred of them is a whole other level. That's like
they make great villains. Great villains, really.
It's it's the difference between, say, just some random guy that you're facing up against and shooting, and then taking a look at something like, say, what Saren does at the very beginning of Mass Effect, where you're immediately like, oh my god, that motherfucker is cold,
Yeah, where he kills Nihilus?
I've got the situation under control.
I love it. I move better alone.
On my
when I'm
own.
alone. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
damn
don't.
right you do.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Well, no, he does. He was alone, and then when frickin' Saren comes
Oh,
along,
that's
he's no
that's
longer
true.
alone.
But if no one's there, then he wouldn't die, right? I got it.
If a Nihilus is killed in a forest and nobody is around to see it, was it really still Saren? I am now officially Saren's attorney.
So,
Frickin' Garrett.
since our last episode, are you ready for this?
Sure.
I have put out 7 videos.
Damn.
Tons of stuff happened. So first, we got the biggest news update I will probably ever do in my life. That's 51 minutes long. Everything from November to December. That's now one of my top videos of all time after just being out for a week.
Is it?
So it's doing really well, and there's tons of shit in there. And then I think we all put out like a release date announcement. And then I had my reaction video to the CES footage. And then I put out news about who the writer face models are. We know who both of them are now. And then I did my analysis of the most recent Arcs and Nexus briefing. And then I analyzed the CES footage. And then I did another news update. And boom! Stuff! I've been very productive.
Cool. I've been sick and I haven't done anything. But by the time this is out, I should have a weapons video on the weapons we've seen so far. And there are more than you think.
Ooh.
So, very cool.
Like, there's a crap load. Oh my
Guns and stuff, yeah.
I'm kind of tired of pointing out the guns. I'm kind of like, I just wanna see them when they're there. Kind of. I'm like, there's this gun and that gun, and there's 4 more guns, and there's that. There's so many.
All right, cool. Is that all that?
I think that's that. Yeah.
Okay.
Want to take us out?
Sure. Still sick. That's all the nerd news we got for today. Remember that every time you like and share this video, somebody embraces eternity.
Ooh.
That's right.
It sounds like they're getting off.
It's exactly what's happening.
Nice.
Oh god.
If you have any questions for us, Mass Effect related or otherwise, feel free to email us at andromenerds@gmail.com, and your questions may be featured in an upcoming episode. Along with our co-hosts and Bife, be sure to follow Andromenerds on Twitter. If you like this podcast and would like to see some more awesome videos, be sure to check out and subscribe to our respective channels. Cool. All right.
What do we want to name this episode?
Should we just call it
Life?
the paperclip episode and then just...
No.
Oh,
No.
Oh god, no.
No.
Oh no. no
I was going
no.
to say we should
I'm
have that,
stopping
but then
recording.
have no context at all.
Bife is our guest. How
Just-
dare you
just-
traumatize him?